When people say the word fighting game, the thing that often comes to people's mind first are your 2D fighting games. You know, your Mortal Kombats, your Street Fighters, maybe even your Killer Instinct. For most people, that is the standard 2D fighting games of what most people think of when they hear that word. And that is generally due to two of the fighters out of the big three are 2D fighters. Of course, I'm talking Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and that's just what the general public and the casuals mostly think of because of that. But while the 2D fighters are the standard really for the general public and the casuals, if you're in the FGC and you played a wide array of fighting games, if you're just in love with fighting games in general, you're gonna play it no matter what it is, no matter if it's a 2D, a 3D, an arena fighter, platform fighter, anime fighter, and it doesn't matter. If you're in love with fighting games, and you're gonna play all of those, it doesn't matter which one it is. But where the water starts to get a little muddy is when you use the term real fighter. The water starts to get a little muddy when you add a specific game, when you add a specific game into the conversation of being a real fighter. Y'all already saw the title of the video. Of course, that video game is Some people just dismiss it and say it's not a real fighter. It's a platform fighter. Some people try to dismiss it and say it's not even in the FGC at all. Now, this is nowhere near a new topic or a new discussion. This whole debate on whether Smash Brothers is a real fighter or not has been going on for nearly 2 decades now. This conversation has been going on. But the reason why I'm bringing it back up now is this tweet from Twitter. Somebody asked, what is the most toxic fighting game fan base out of these 4 fighting games? Of course, we have Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Super Smash Bros., and Street Fighter. And of course, someone replies to this tweet by saying Smash is not in the FGC. And the reason why it rubs me the wrong way when people say this is because Smash Bros. Was a game that initially started off as a casual party game. You know, a game just when you're with your friends, you go over to your friend's house, maybe it's the 4 of you, you hop on Smash Bros., you just have a good time, right? It started off at that, and then went to headline the biggest fighting game tournament in the world, EVO, and went to go headline that. Mind you, this is over the big 3. The big 3 were at EVO as well. Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat. They were also at EVO as well. And in 2019, Smash Brothers was the main event. They were the finals. They got the starlight all on them. So when we say it's not a real fighter, I'm like, this is not a real fake fighter. Headline the biggest fighting game tournament in the world over the big 3. So what are we like? We have to at some point put some respect on Smash Brothers' name. They also had the most amount of contestants in EVO as well, with almost 3,500 people, with the next one being Street Fighter V, which I believe was like 1,900 or something, a little over 1,900. They had a large margin of competitors over them by a pretty sizable amount. So the game that's not a real fighter got over 1,500 more contestants over the second highest at EVO, and also went on to win EVO as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna need you to just to shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, I'm just serious. But for 1 second, you know what? For 1 second, forget about EVO. Forget about the number of contestants. Forget about this is EVO right here. This is EVO, right? Take it. Forget about it. It's nothing anymore. Forget about it. What I don't understand is because, and I'm willing to admit, I think anybody is. Super Smash Brothers heavily deviates from the normal formula of a fighting game, right? I think nobody would disagree with that. It's obvious. That's why it's called a platform fighter. Of course, it's a platform fighter. There you go, already deviating from the standard. And then you got the ring outs, another thing that's deviating. But what's funny about this point? This is funny. This is the funniest thing. Because on TikTok, I made a same video talking about why Smash Brothers is the real fighter. And then someone in my comments said, nah, you're just pushing people off the edge, insinuating that it's not a real fighter because you're pushing people off the edge?
Stop saying shit like that. It's unprofessional.
Oh, is that what I'm going for here?
Just want you to stop saying odd shit.
Okay, cool, fine. Virtual Fighter's not a real fighter because it has ring outs. It has ring outs. Dead or alive, well, at least the first one. It's not a fighter because it has ring outs. It's not a fighter at all. Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Mortal Kombat Deception, they're not real fighters because they have ring outs. You see how stupid that sounds? It's literally getting to the point where I think at this point I feel like it's just major cope at this point. And these other fighting games, other fighting games that people don't consider as real fighters, like the Naruto Ninja Storm, the Brawlhalla, they're not at EVO. They're not even. Now Naruto Ninja Storm, that was a side tournament at EVO, but that has never been on the main stage of EVO, not once. Brawlhalla has never been on the main stage of EVO, not once. So it's like, if you have a game that's like that is like those games, but it stands out heavily from the other ones, maybe because maybe that's just genuinely a really good game that deserves to take a spot at EVO. Now, like I said before, Naruto Ninja Storm, that did have a side tournament at EVO, but 3 out of the 4 Smash Brothers games, Melee, Brawl, and Ultimate, out of the main ones, Melee, Brawl, and Ultimate were at the main stage of EVO. That says a lot. Wait, I just forgot about one. I just forgot Wii U, Super Smash Wii U. So that means 4 out of 5 Smash Brothers games that aren't considered real fighters was at the main stage of EVO. Somebody's got some explaining to do. And of course, when all else fails, this is what people default to.
Oh, well, it's so successful and so popular at EVO because, oh, well, they're backed by Nintendo and they just have Nintendo's name on everything.
Which, that just shows right there how much you all know. Nintendo had nothing to do with their success at EVO. Number one, Nintendo wanted nothing to do with EVO for the longest time. Nintendo tried to actually pull Melee from streaming service so it couldn't be streamed at all. And fans raised, I can't remember how much money it was, but I think it was close to $100,000, an absurd amount of money raised in charity to get Super Smash Bros. Melee back on the main stage for EVO. And then in 2022, Nintendo pulled Smash Brothers from EVO immediately. They just pulled them from immediately. So Nintendo being an EVO, Smash Brothers being an EVO has nothing to do with Nintendo because Nintendo wanted nothing to do with EVO. You know what I really think it is? I really just think it is an ego thing with a lot of you all. You all see Smash Brothers and you see it as this party fighter, this casual game, whatever, and your ego gets hurt because it's not as hard as a Mortal Kombat. It's not as hard as a Street Fighter or a Tekken, a Killer Instinct, or something. It's not as hard as those games. So because you like those games a lot and you put a lot of time into those games and you view those as harder fighters, you look at Smash Brothers in this different light because of it's a party game. That's all it is. You all's ego knows no bounds, and that's why you don't consider Smash Brothers a real fighter. That just is what it is. But that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Comment, do you think Smash Brothers is a real fighter? Do you think it should be in the FGC? Let me know. I appreciate every single one of you all for watching. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and share the video, and I will catch you all in the next one. All right, peace.